Hello, everyone. Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. Today's video is a review for this comic. Actually, came out last week, but I really enjoyed it, so I wanted to make a video about it. Hopefully, you guys are reading this series. So this is for Batman: The Imposter #2. This is from DC Comics, written by Mattson, Tomlin, um, uh, art by Andrea Sorrentino, colors by Jordie Bellaire. So if you're not familiar with this story, Batman has discovered that there's an imposter in Gotham City. The police now are after Batman, but how does he prove his innocence, seeing that he has to be behind the mask? In this issue, Detective Blair Wong sets her sights on Bruce Wayne as a source of information about the Batman, but neither of them was ready for the sparks that flew when they met. Unfortunately for the relationship, the imposter Batman has killed again, and the pressure is mounting to close the case immediately. Yeah, very cool premise. If you saw my review for issue #1, you'll know that Tomlin is one of the writers in the upcoming Batman movie. Andrea Sorrentino is a fantastic artist. So let's start there. Actually, let's start with some panels. Let's take a look at some art, and we'll walk a little bit through the story and the things I enjoyed. So, as I mentioned before, Andrea Sorrentino has a really interesting way of laying out panels, and Jordie Bellaire, amazing. Like, I would like to know what their conversations are like, or their notes, or whatever the case may be, however they work together, where they communicate with each other, of like, which panels are colored, which panels end up being red, end up being like just monochromatic, or black and white. As you can see here, there's a lot happening. Batman is kind of recapping his night to Dr. Tompkins, who is in this world, in this iteration of the story, one of the people that Batman has in his life left. As we find out later, uh, Bruce was a very angry child after what happened to his parents, which is where he met Dr. Tompkins. But unfortunately, in this world, Alfred could not maintain the pressure of having to deal with Bruce, and all the rage that he held. So Bruce Wayne is very lonely in this world. This iteration of Batman, it's a little bit more depressing than normal because he really has no one. That there's a very very interesting conversation that he has with Dr. Tompkins. That's one of the things I appreciate about this book. I appreciate the relationship between Leslie Tompkins and Bruce Wayne, as she does know who Batman is, but she has they've made a pact of, as long as Bruce Wayne keeps going to therapy and keeps trying to get better, keeps trying to open up about all the trauma that he has suffered, she will keep his secret. Also, as long as he doesn't commit any, he doesn't kill anyone or anything like that, which is why now Batman has to prove that this imposter is definitely not him. Let's take a look at some more art, some more panels here. I really like these panels of the action when there's a big hit. We have the big onomatopoeia, duck, just big sounds. I really like that. We have a big conversation here between Bruce Wayne and Detective Wong, which it's so this is the mansion. As you can see, there's a once again. I mean, you can pause it and read it if you want, but like the thing I'm showing you here is not really for the dialogue at the moment. I just want you to see how interesting things can be done with the paneling layout, so you can spice up a little bit when you have to have a long conversation to give exposition to the reader, and what makes somebody like Andrea Sorrentino a very interesting artist. I'll also show this follow panel. This is also the Detective Wong and Bruce Wayne talking, but also Leslie is talking to Bruce about the detective. It's a really interesting dynamic, because there's now a lot of moving pieces in Bruce's life. He wants to, he needs to be available to the police and help with the investigation, because otherwise, he may be suspected of being the Batman or whatever the case. Um, so we do have just we now have that extra complication. Also, Detective Wong and Bruce Wayne are kind of building a relationship, and they started to kind of talk, or maybe even, I guess you could call it that they did go out on a sort of date. Um, but obviously that brings complications for both, because not only is Bruce Wayne kind of a suspect, he's not a suspect, but he is a person of interest because he has a lot of stake in the case. He's one of Gotham's elite, which is part of the group that's also pressuring the police to find this Batman. So there's still a lot of stuff going on. So I'm gonna keep reading this. I'm really enjoying it. I'll show you one last panel, and this is just one page. I split it up so it would fit better on the screen. Uh, but you can kind of see very dynamic, and Detective One finally comes face to face, kind of, with the Batman. So things are really, really gearing up. so, so yeah, that. So thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know if you're reading this series, if you're enjoying it as much as I am. I definitely recommend this book. Anything out of the Black Label is really interesting to explore. There are some things that I rather wait for the collection, because I think DC collects their Black Label items in a very interesting and really appealing, like just visually appealing to have on your shelf. Uh, uh, Books. So yeah, looking forward to that. So thanks for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. Let me know if you're reading this book. Let me know what else you're reading, Bat Family related. Yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.